Hey guys, welcome to Costa Rica. I'm having a really hard time in this heat, right? This is a 30-year-old Lexus, and we're here with Lexus celebrating 30 years of the brand. A brand which started in North America for the American consumers, has agitated all the other luxury brands to really get on their case and produce better cars. And 30 years on, this is the modern product. We're gonna get to drive both and see how far this car company has come.
In 1989, the average house cost was $120,000, a gallon of gas 97 cents, and America launched the Galileo spacecraft. But it was also the birth of Lexus. If you didn't already know, they are the luxury arm of Toyota, and before they released their first car, the LS, they made over 450 prototypes to make sure they got it right.
Behind the wheel of the LS400, it still feels like a Lexus 30 years on. It's hard to believe. This car now has 180,000 miles on it, and the only real difference is a couple of rattles in the back. This has a 4-speed transmission, where the new one has a 10-speed transmission. Let's see what the difference is driving that.
What started as a car company just for the American buyer has become a world brand. Now on sale in over 90 countries, the reason we're in Costa Rica is it is one of the latest edition of countries selling Lexus cars. In just 30 years, they have come further than many brands took over 100 years to travel.
Now, the difference of being behind the wheel of the 2020 LS is very significant, but not so significant. This still has the same smooth feeling, but at the same time, when you're driving it, it still has what Lexus were famous for, that perfect luxury feeling of driving the vehicle. And once you put your foot down and accelerate a little bit, it still has that get up and go that the original had. It maintains an awful lot of the luxury, but at the same time, it takes it to a new level. And 30 years on, it's very obvious that you're driving a Lexus.
Lexus knew their cars had to be better than what was on the market, and they set the bar high. Brian Boland is a communications manager at Lexus.
You know, the LS from the company's perspective was really a moonshot, right? I mean, this car had to do well. It had a purpose, and it kind of couldn't fail. It was a big gamble to bring out not just a car, but an entire brand, right? And there was a very specific audience in mind at that time for that brand. So the car really had to do well.
10 years later, another first for Lexus.
My biggest surprise about driving the RX from 1998 is it feels just like the day it came off the dealer lot. And Lexus couldn't find one of these in their own stable, so they had to go and buy it from the second-hand market. And it feels just like it did all those years ago.
Any SUV that had been on the road before the RX had been based off of a pickup truck. And back in the late 1990s, pickup trucks were not the most comfortable rides.
So behind the wheel of the very first crossover luxury vehicle in the United States, the RX, this feels similar to what you'd expect out of a sedan, and being this is built on the ES platform, it feels great. In fact, for their first jump out of the stables at their 10-year mark, this has made the whole difference to the SUV lineup. Drives just like the same day it came off the dealer lot.
What about value for money? We know that all Lexus vehicles are built with the idea of value for money. What was it like 30 years ago?
We had to get people's attention from brands that had held their attention for a very long time. The value piece of that was a big story as well. So I think you had this kind of unbelievable engineering feat, and you had a value story. It came together at just the right time.
20 years later, the RX is the best-selling model for Lexus.
Inside the RX, when you're driving on the street, you can really feel the difference. Get up to speed and do some cornering, it feels much more rigid, and those body welds make a huge difference.
Lexus disrupted the industry 30 years ago and pushed the luxury car forward and forced the competition to step up to the plate. And it's about to happen again. Just around the corner is the Tokyo Motor Show. Lexus will make some big introductions, and in just under a year, the Tokyo Olympics, a platform which will see the future of human transportation from Lexus.
Now, Lexus announcing that every single one of their vehicles will have an electrification option in the future. In Costa Rica, I'm Nik Miles.